I've been seeing something on TikTok. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about boyfriend air. I feel like I'm like new to this term, but it was started making sense to me. All these girls were like complaining on TikTok about having, like, if you spend a lot of time with your boyfriend, you look worse like after spending time with them than you did before. And it's like you glow down when you're with them. And I was like, I didn't know if they meant like when you get into a relationship and you get comfortable, so maybe like you don't try as hard and then things start like slipping, or maybe you gain some weight because you're like eating unhealthy food with them. But then you said that that's not what it is, right?
So yeah, I've seen this on TikTok, and basically I've seen girls do a before and after of them. Like, obviously these are girls that don't live with their boyfriend, so they're going to their boyfriends for a sleepover. They do a before video of like what they look like their hair is nice and neat and pretty and shiny, their makeup looks flawless, or maybe they're not going over with makeup, they just have like, you know, that glazed donut skincare look going on, one of the two. And then they come back from their boyfriends and they look like they were run over by a train. Like, something about the boyfriend air just sucks the life out of you. And
so what are they? Is it like the environment that's bad?
Yes. Okay. So like they were saying, like, girls have noticed a certain pattern to like, oh, like, you know, I didn't have this pimple when I got to my boyfriend's house, but you know, I left my boyfriend's house with a pimple
because they don't like clean their pillows.
Yeah, or like, yeah, they don't wash their pillowcases enough, so maybe their hair is now greasy.
They cook with canola oil.
Or maybe they haven't opened their bedroom window in like 5 months, so the air is a little stuffy. I mean, there are some gross guys out there. I mean, we are fortunate enough. I feel like
cereal in bed.
What's wrong with that?
You.
I'm just kidding. I actually used to have a really bad habit of eating in bed, and I feel like I was depressed.
Okay. I mean,
well, no,
all of a sudden now I'm an asshole.
No, but Mystery Man was the one that got me out of like, I don't eat in bed anymore.
No, I do. I do think I understand. If it's a sign of depression, I do understand. I take it back. I know.
No, I was kidding. I mean, I wasn't kidding, but I'm kidding.
And I'm not saying that because I went through a period in college where I did eat like chips in bed, usually like 3 a.m. after the bar. So I probably wasn't the neatest about it, but like there is nothing worse than like waking up
crumbs
and there are crumbs in your bed.
Yeah,
especially flaming hot Cheetos crumbs in your bed.
Just orange mess everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
No,
probably in a hotel room I will though. I got room service in the Bahamas.
Well, that's different. It's not your own bed.
True.
Doesn't matter what happens to that bed.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. You pay to mess up those sheets. But I do think, you know, we are fortunate enough that our boyfriends have good hygiene. I know Mystery Man cleans our sheets twice a week.
He's cleaner than most women.
I know.
I might hire him to clean.
Which is really good for my germophobia.
Yeah.
But I just feel like
you take a clean freak and a germophobic and you put them together and
it's just a match made in heaven. It truly is. But I mean, that shit just wouldn't fly with me. I feel like certain guys out there are so lucky to have girlfriends in their life because they force them to be cleaner.
Yeah.
And like maybe the girls that are experiencing boyfriend air are in like maybe not the beginning stages, but like they haven't been dating long enough to be like, you're a freaking slob. You are gross. We need to do something about your living environment because it's gross.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I don't know. Every guy's different. I know some very, very clean guys randomly. Like Michael's, like 2 of his roommates in college were like the cleanest people I've ever seen in my life. Like they'd have like one shirt in their like hamper and they would do laundry that day. I've never seen anything like it. I actually think I've seen some gross girls too. But I think you have to have like a relationship where you somehow make each other better and like the clean person has to like raise up. I give you a pass. If it's within 3 years of graduating college, I do give you a pass. You don't understand how the world works yet. Your mom might still do your laundry. Like, I don't really know, like, however you went through college or life.
You have an adjustment period.
You get a grace period, 3 years. Yeah. I will give you that. If you are...
3 years is generous.
I think it's generous, but sometimes it takes 3 years to really fully get it down.
Yeah.
If you're like 23 and you're like, you know, hanging out with your new boyfriend and you're at his place and... You know, there's no headboard and
that's
there's
true.
like
their brain isn't fully developed
chips
until
everywhere.
25.
Yeah, and like they don't really know how to clean the shower. Like I'm not gonna hold that super against them.
Sure.
If you're 30, no,
that's a red flag.
I'm sorry. And if you don't know how to do it, like figure it out. Like pay someone, like pay a friend that doesn't mind. Or
odds are, if they're 30 and they're still a slob, odds are they're probably going to be a slob.
They're never going to change. No, they're never.
Because bad habits are hard to break. And if you are 30 and you have a bad habit that like you are aware of and you don't care enough to get rid of it, it's like, what are you doing?
I agree.
But I think a lot of these, at least the girls that I've seen on TikTok, I think they are probably either in college or just out of college.
Okay. So then I understand that is tough. I mean, I in college so junior year, I lived in an apartment. Michael lived in an apartment with like 4 of his friends. But then they like decided to like move into the frat house, which just wasn't what we needed. So senior year, they were living in the frat house. I in my life have never like
frat houses are gross.
That was boyfriend era. And also like if it was freshman or sophomore year, fine. But senior year, when you're like kind of at the point where you're like, you know, maybe I won't go out on Friday night. But like your boyfriend's living in a frat house and like there's no toilet paper in the bathroom. Like they have to give you a roll of toilet paper if you want one. And
I've never had a frat experience.
The floors are sticky and it's just like, you're right. Like you definitely wake up with like pimples because you're like, what is happening?
Everything's greasy and sticky.
Everything is greasy. And like people just spill alcohol and like they're not cleaning that. So you're just like, you're stepping on generations of just like beer spills as you walk around.
I've been to a frat house, but I've never been in a frat bedroom. So I think I'd be horrified
it's
if
just
I
like
did.
not a like loving and memorable experience. But I do feel for the girls who talk about boyfriend era. Like I get it now. Yeah. I thought they meant like when you get into a relationship and you're like comfortable and like you don't really feel the need to like
take care of yourself.
Go crazy with the makeup and maybe you let your hair go a little bit because you're like happy. And I thought that's what boyfriend era was. And I was like, okay. Because I do understand the feeling of, I think there's a good side to it because you feel comfortable and secure and you're not like anxious. So it's fine. But there's definitely an element of like, I feel like when you're dating a guy and all of a sudden you're like eating all your meals with him and he's like, you know, going for stuff that maybe you wouldn't necessarily eat. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, like I can't fit into my jeans. I thought that's what it was.
No, this is different. But that's also very true.
That's also a thing.
Yes. Getting comfortable it's called happy weight, happy relationship weight.
Moral of the story, men will ruin everything. Just kidding. I'm very happy. Life. But in a good way. We love you if you're listening to this, which you probably aren't.